House-to-house registration continues and several government agencies signed memorandums of understanding with the FIU. It's Tuesday, July 23. These and other stories in today's news. GECOM's house-to-house registration process to continue as the High Court has denied a request to issue a conservatory order to block the continuation of the exercise. House-to-house registration is now in its fourth day of operations. Chief Justice Roxanne George today denied a conservatory order sought by Attorney-at-Law Christopher Ram to block house-to-house registration, a process being conducted by the Guyana Elections Commission. The Chief Justice denied the order on the grounds that she was not convinced that GECOM was not promptly moving the process along for general and regional elections. With the conservatory order being blocked, registration is set to continue as per normal. It is important to note that refusing to register is an offense liable to a fine of $16,250 or 6 months imprisonment. House-to-house registration began on Saturday, July 20, and thus far has seen more than 20,000 persons being registered. Public Relations Officer of GECOM, Yolanda Ward, stated during an interview that the number represents citizens' receptiveness and understanding of the seriousness of the registration process.
Registration, as you know, is a legal requirement. It is facilitated under the National Registration Act, Chapter 1908. And therefore, it is mandated that once you have you've attained the age of 14 years or older, that you should register to be part of the National Register of Registrants.
According to Ward, GECOM currently has 29 registration offices, all in operation mode for the exercise. To supplement these offices, the elections body has also established 262 cluster offices across the country that are being manned by assistant registration officers. Field staff will be continuing the registration process from 8 hours to 17 hours on weekends and holidays, and 15 hours to 19 hours on weekdays. The registration process continues until October. The Financial Intelligence Unit has established memorandums of understanding with several government agencies, expanding its reach for information gathering.
The MOUs were signed in the boardroom of the Ministry of Legal Affairs on July 22nd in the presence of the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams and overseen by FIU's Director Matthew Langevin. According to the Attorney General, the sharing of the information is most critical now as the country continues to fight against money laundering and combating the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction.
We have decided it is something that is done throughout CFATF and FATF that we will exercise now. We will enter into the exercise of signing MOUs, and the parties to the MOUs now would be able to properly exchange information with one another depending on the situation.
The AG said the government will continue to work with the Financial Action Task Force and Guyana's hemispheric body, the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, in the struggle to combat laundering and terrorist financing.
We will be continuing as far as possible in the interest of the people of Guyana and, of course, to the people of the region, to do all that we can to assist this process.
Agencies represented at the signing included the Bank of Guyana, the Ghana Gold Board, the Ghana Geology and Mines Commission, the Ghana Securities Council, the Chief Cooperative Development Officer, the Registrar of Friendly Societies, and the Land Registry. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
A UK analyst has advised the government to consider a sliding scale option for oil royalties in the implementation of future licenses.
This advice comes from Alessandro Bassi, upstream oil and gas analyst at Global Data, a data analytics and consulting company based in the UK. Commenting on a recent statement made by Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, that the country was preparing to raise the take of the government in future oil licenses, Bassi said increasing the royalty rate should be approached with caution, particularly if the country wanted to retain its regional competitiveness. He said, quote, "If Ghana goes ahead with its plan of increasing the royalties in its production sharing agreements, PSAs, the scope for adjustment will be limited if it wishes to retain its regional competitiveness." End of quote. Adding that under the current contract structure, Ghana may push its royalties up to a 5% rate from the current 2%. Quote, "Beyond that threshold, it may diminish the attractiveness of the country's petroleum fiscal framework for investors." End of quote. In the meantime, on the subject of royalty increase, Dr. Bainu at an industry conference in London recently had stated that an examination of this was likely. Bassi reiterated that raising the royalty rate anywhere above 5% would make Ghana less competitive than its neighbours Brazil and Suriname. However, royalty is not the only source of government stake. According to the upstream oil and gas analyst, the PSA model has a 75% cost recovery, with the remaining 25% profit oil equally split between the licensees and Guyana. The minimum of effective royalty rate paid to the government is 14.25% of the gross revenue. He adds that for Liza Phase 1, there is an expectation for a free cash flow for the government higher than 50%. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Guyana is the first country in the Commonwealth to sign up for the creation of a maritime economy plan, which will develop the country's potential in the sector. Isaiah Braffett tells us that consultations on the crafting of this document officially began today.
Guyana has been assisted by Commonwealth Maritime Economics Program in the preparation of the plan. British High Commissioner to Guyana, Greg Quinn, commending the forward thinking by the government, said the aim is to foster sustainable development.
I believe is a reflection of the vision of the government and all of the agencies. All are clearly aware of the fact that the future of Guyana must rest on an effective use and conservation of all sectors of the country's economy. The plan aims to identify sectors of the maritime industries that foster sustainable development to prepare a tailored action plan to address gaps, overcome obstacles, and build capacity to build and grow those sectors. In the process, the plan will also consider the government's short, medium, and long-term priorities.
Commissioner of the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, Trevor Ben, said the plan will develop the potential of Guyana's maritime economy in a sustainable, resilient, and integrated way. According to Commissioner Ben, it will also help Guyana deal with some of the challenges it faces in the sector.
Some of which relate to outdated navigation charts that requires urgent attention, high degree of vulnerability to external economic and environmental shocks and climate change, ocean acidification, extreme weather events, pollution, overfishing, loss of habitat, lack of modern hydrographic data. All of which I hope that with the start of this consultation we will be able to address.
The joint work on the development of the Maritime Economy Plan began back in 2016. Stakeholders were drawn from all sectors of Guyana. The consultation process is being led by Jonathan McHugh and Felipe Stigler. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Still to come, Small Business Bureau targeting at-risk youths and Region 3's top NGSA performers recognized. Details of these and more after the break.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Welcome back. Vulnerable youths are being targeted for necessary training and pushed to start their own businesses. This initiative is being undertaken by the Ministry of Public Security in collaboration with the Small Business Bureau.
That program has actually been going very well. We started that program in 2017 and we worked in Georgetown and Berbice, specifically Sophia and Angois Avenue, Berbice. We trained close to 85 youth during that program, and we gave grants to those students who started businesses, $300,000 grants, and they were able to start businesses.
For this year, 38 youths have already been trained, and another 44 are currently undergoing training. The young people this time around are from regions 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, and several who have already completed training were issued grants just last week.
We also have an in-school entrepreneurship program, and I'm especially pleased about the in-school entrepreneurship program because that's sort of like my baby, where we gave grants to students at the secondary level, a grant of a maximum $30,000. Schools within all 10 regions. This program started in 2017. We worked with 104 students in 2017.
The program has since grown, with the Bureau now working with 123 students for the year so far, with more to come on board in September. While the Bureau has been doing such extensive work with youths, Headley indicated that the main focus this year is on the 20% government procurement program.
That's a program the Small Business Bureau is responsible for to ensure small businesses across Guyana have access to government contracts, government tenders, and that will also help to build their revenue and build their capacity within our local context.
Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
80 adolescent mothers are now able to change the course of their lives. The young mothers recently completed courses at the Carnegie School of Home Economics.
This is the second initiative of its kind facilitated by the Health and Family Life Education Unit within the Ministry of Education, aimed at empowering, educating and supporting vulnerable teen mothers. At a simple ceremony held at CSHE Auditorium, Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry congratulated the young mothers for taking the necessary steps to advance their education and skills.
This occasion, to my mind, signifies your determination to become strong, independent parents and, by extension, responsible adults that will contribute meaningfully to the upbringing of your children and the development of your society.
The minister said the ministry understands the importance of quality education and will continue to assist in the development of the nation's young people. The courses in cosmetology, cake, and pastry making were fully funded by the government through the Education Ministry. Describing their completion of the courses as a success, UNICEF Education Specialist, Representative Audrey Michelle Rodriguez, told the young mothers to continue to strive for excellence.
You now have an opportunity to making yourself a successful, independent woman, and you have that opportunity for it to become a reality. The key is to continue learning all the days of your life.
Since the development of the national policy to reintegrate adolescent mothers into the education system last June, a total of 45 mothers have benefited. Similar programs have been rolled out in regions 1, 6, 7, and 9. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
11-year-old Celestia Messier serves as a testimony that accessing good education is not limited to students on the coast. The Ministry of Education awarded her, along with other Region 8 top performers, for their exceptional work.
Emerging as the top performer for Pataro Siparuni Region 8 with 503 marks, Mazir, who hails from Madia Primary School, was awarded a place at St. Joseph's High School but will be attending President's College because of its living facilities.
It doesn't matter where you come from. Once you are focused, determined to do well, and you have the sport, you will succeed.
Region 8 has more than doubled its performance in mathematics, moving from 9.1% in 2018 to 19.1% in 2019. Delivering remarks at the awards ceremony, Minister of Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton commended the top performers for their sterling efforts at this year's examinations.
Gone are the days when persons from the hinterland regions used to be graded differently from those in the coastal areas.
Chief Education Officer Dr. Marcel Hudson reiterated the ministry's commitment to bridging the gaps that exist between coastal and hinterland education, stressing that access to quality, equitable education will promote lifelong learning.
The Ministry of Education is very keen on closing the gaps in terms of the performance we see at the coast, schools in the coast as against schools in the hinterland. And that is why we're here today, to celebrate our young people.
Regional Education Officer Penelope McIntosh congratulated the 120 primary school teachers, whom she described as hardworking. The top performers who were also presented with a bursary from Ansa McCall Limited include Celestia Masir, Ravindra Dalchan, Rachel Pice, Nalan Thomas, Nazia Chiang, Jason Ramos, Nevin McLean, Eliza King, Abner Gomes, and Vera Domingo. Letitia Isaacs for InfoHub.
That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.